I don't think you're going to see that sort of trajectory on Saka. I think he's going to just stay efficient. And
I've been saying it. I've been saying for a long time. Sorry,
and I think sometimes, but efficiency can get you to world-class level if you're doing it on a big stage, right?
Sure.
Because let's say, for example, at the same time, you had Henry and you had Van Nistelrooy in the same league at the same time, getting 20 plus goals every single season. But everyone immediately would say, no, Henry. Why? Because he's more desirable on the eye. He does more.
Yeah.
But Van Nistelrooy, remember, he scored only one goal out of the box for Man United. So that's the efficiency. But I would put him down as a world-class striker, right? So for me, if Saka, for example, still does his basic, hugging the touchline, very efficient, but he sets up a goal and scores on Sunday, and we go on and win the league, and he turns up in the Champions League against Bayern Munich, doing the exact same thing, that keeps on edging him more towards the world class without being overly desirable.
Okay, let me ask you a hypothetical question real quick. You and if I can answer this question. If we hypothetically brought in a Neto, who will start, Neto or Saka?
I think Saka will definitely still start.
I think Neto will start.
And the reason why I think that Saka will start, because I think again he will probably change the profile of how Neto plays.
I think Neto is more corny and tricky and street smart, and is more explosive. Saka lacks that explosivity of quick balls in the box.
Listen,
right? He doesn't have it.
Unpopular opinion, but I think Elise is better than Saka.
I have not seen enough to.
I generally think that. I think the age that Elise is at, right? 2021 as well. When we're talking about trickery, when we're talking about delivery, when we're talking about directness, right?
Yeah.
The part what Saka beats him on is that efficiency. Saka is like that German car, just ain't gonna let you down and just built well, right? Whereas Elise.
Okay. So you're rating Elise over Neto?
I would take Elise instead of Neto, yes.
Mr. What do you think?
You know my view on Neto. Neto is like what do they call it? I love Neto, but my problem is if Neto comes.
Let's say hypothetical. Let's take away the injury.
Okay.
Pure ability.
Pure ability. Of course, you look at what do they call it? Neto. I believe Neto will be shuffling both wings. That's what
I think Neto is better than Saka. I watched them like this guy.
No, that's why I think Neto through the eye test is better than Saka. But when you ask the question, do I think he would start instead of Saka? No, I don't.
Yeah.
And that's why I said I think Arteta will get both of them in that team. I don't think it'll be.
Okay, let me rephrase the question. Mm-hmm. What can Neto do that Saka can't do, and what can Saka do that Neto can't do?
Saka has got the efficiency. Saka's got the efficiency over Neto. Neto is one of those players where if he's on point, he's going to just absolutely destroy his left back.
Yeah.
Right? But he doesn't have that game as much. Saka, as we've seen this season, is not been the Saka of last year. But you look at the numbers and it tells you a different story. I think with Neto, he has to be playing well. Saka doesn't need to be playing well, but somehow he pops up with an assist. He pops up with a goal. He does something. There's the amount of games I'm thinking, get this guy off the pitch. Then all of a sudden, cuts back, cross with the right foot, someone taps in. Saka's the hero, another assist, and we move on, right? Neto doesn't have enough of those moments, right?
Because he's injured.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, for me, like you was talking about that rat shit at the beginning when we was talking. Neto's like for me that Instagram girl. You know, she's got all of the body. She looks good. All of that stuff. But it's not going to be the one you take home because
nah, that's for fun. That's for fun. That's for fun.
And that's the difference between them. So it's like, what do you prefer? Do you want the exciting, spontaneous, dynamic winger who may go disappearing for 2, 3, 4 games? Or do you want that winger who's a little bit frustrating but pops up with a goal and assist?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
But to me, you take both and you put Martinelli on the bench.
I play Martinelli. If I'm not playing, for me, this is an unpopular opinion. I've always said, right? I prefer Martinelli as a striker. Because whenever I hear these links of Osimhen, look, let's be realistic. There is nothing Osimhen will do that Martinelli will do. You understand? Let's be pace. Martinelli has it. Martinelli is way better on the ball. He can finish. So I think it's maybe
one thing though. Osimhen's got better movement than Martinelli, though.
Yeah, but the reason why I say the movement, I still believe Martinelli has it. I could say has it as good, and Martinelli could have had it more as a striker, was because, you know, originally when he came to Arsenal, we could see if this guy was going to be a striker. He was going to.
And he was playing well.
Yeah. But, you know, Arteta moving him to the wings, and last season we actually saw some of his, we saw something.
So then you not think that's the biggest problem? That is it the fact that maybe we've got a manager who just doesn't like out and out strikers? Because when you look at it, he's come in, Aubameyang won us the FA Cup, he moved him on. Maybe he had to stamp his mark, break up the sort of gang culture inside of the change room. Fine. But then you have Lacazette left over. Lacazette was player of the season 2 years, scoring goals. He turns Lacazette into a holding midfielder. He ends up losing.
Jay's not being fair. Jay is not being fair. Lacazette turns bland.
Because do you think if Lacazette was in this team now, he would because we've seen, I